Hey there, welcome to the Reaction Radar. Today we're going to be doing a part 2 of the incident with the Newark involving the mayor up there with the ICE situation. This part we have a little bit more information with the body cams and uncover the lies that the mayor went into. So without any further ado, let's get into this.
Tom Homan. Tom, thank you so much for being here. You know, just watching that body cam video, absolutely incredible to see that went down. And before we get to it, I'd like you to also hear what the Newark mayor had to say also in his defense.
We ask them to obey our laws, to obey the policies and rules here in the city and the state of New Jersey, not to run roughshod over the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, the 4th, the 5th, the 14th Amendment, that everybody on this soil deserves due process.
Tom, he's saying they're the good guys here.
Well, look, he's not very smart. I mean, bottom line is, that's what the facility's all about. This facility's about due process. This facility is where we put illegal aliens, people in the country illegally, first of all. If they're in the country illegally, they're being detained. And they were screaming and yelling about due process, 14, and all this in the Constitution. This is where due process happens. We have to detain them to go through the due process of, you know, sometimes seeing a judge, sometimes they already have final orders. It's ranging removal to their countries, to getting travel documents to their countries, and making sure all the administrative processes are followed. So this is exactly what a facility means. And I'll tell you this, I can guarantee you this facility has higher detention standards than any New Jersey facility. This facility has highest detention standards in the industry. You compare that to any jail in New Jersey, and you'd be shocked how high these detention standards are.
You know, you have members of Congress there as well, and they're arguing that this was a matter of oversight. I want you to listen to what Congressman Robert Menendez Jr. said yesterday.
We're there to conduct oversight. It's a newly opened facility. They want to spin people. This is exactly what they've done their entire administration. They talk about criminals, they're separating families.
Conducting oversight in this manner. Tom.
No, it's not the proper way to do it. There's a proper way to conduct oversight. There's a way to make appointments, go in this facility. You don't break into the facility when a bus full of criminals are being, brought into that facility. This is about the safety and security of the employees. This is about the safety and security of the illegal aliens. And it's about the safety and security of the public. You just don't make an entry like that. You don't make an unauthorized entry while they're moving a bus of criminals in the facility. There's a right way and wrong way to do it. And look, I've said from day one, you cannot support ICE. You can go ahead and support sanctuary cities, but you can't cross that line. You can't cross the line of impediment. You can't cross the line of knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien. You certainly can't trespass in a facility that's contracted by the U.S. government to house criminals. That'd be like breaking into, a state prison, not going through the proper protocols. This creates a huge safety crisis, and these elected politicians know that. This isn't about due process. This isn't about constitutional rights. This is about politics. They simply don't want these people removed from this country. They don't want immigration enforcement in this country.
So, like Mr. Homan is saying, it's absolutely right. There's a right way and a wrong way to do things. You cannot just walk up into an establishment and just decide to do what you want to do, right? There's rules, policies, checks, and balances in place, okay? Now, we're going to go dive into a little bit more as well. Mayor Baraka, where, he's on giving interviews lying about this whole situation. And we also have a body cam, Congresswoman LaMonica MacGyver assaulting an ICE agent, but again, we'll get into this.
And a half before somebody made a decision to do what they did.
Were you invited by federal agents, or who were you invited for?
I was invited by the people who own the property.
So you see here he says, I was invited by the people who own the property. Okay, keep that in mind.
Mayor, are you going to go when they started telling you to leave? Like, describe that, what happened when they started to tell you to leave.
Well, I mean, I can't get into the details of it, because it's the court and my lawyers told me not to. But at the end of the day, the reality is I was there for over an hour with ICE agents. Nobody said one word to me the entire time that I was there. I guess the superiors came, because they got a call to come, and they came and approached me while I was standing there. I left eventually. They came outside of the gate after I left the gate and proceeded to try to arrest me there. And you can see the video, the melee, and everything that took place as a part of that. And I went with them.
Local police department. What was that like, and did you think that would ever happen to you?
No, I didn't think it would happen to me. The congressman came to the fence and said, "Hey, they're talking about arresting you back here." I said.
So there you go. That's a clip with Mayor Baraka, where, he's saying that he was there for over an hour ago. He was invited by the people who own the property. So without any further ado, let's get into this other clip to where it's going to tell you not you, me, or whoever. It's going to be him saying otherwise. So without any further ado, let's get into this. This is the second part of his interview on CNN.
You were there on the ground with other members of Congress who are joining you. And I mean, we've seen this dramatic scene play out. Tell me what happened from your perspective.
Well, I'm going to say as much as I can without violating, what they asked me to do in court. But, I actually didn't come there to protest. I was there that morning with the fire inspector trying to serve them as we've been doing for the last.
So keep in mind, a few seconds ago, he said he was there because he was invited by the people who own the property. Now he's saying he was there with the fire investigators. The fire investigator does not own that property. They may or may not have been there to investigate and conduct an inspection. So right there, two inconsistencies.
Last few days, we're in court with them now. The fire inspector usually puts a tag on a gate and we leave. This happens every day. At 1 o'clock, the Congress people, Menendez, MacGyver, and Bonnie Watson Coleman, Congress people from the state of New Jersey, was going into the facility, and they said that they had been granted entry into the facility and was having a press conference. Afterwards, I came to attend the press conference as I was asked to,
So, one, you were invited by the person who owns the property. Two, you were there with the fire department to conduct an investigation. Three, you were invited by Congress. Well, Congress doesn't own that property, right? So where are we going with this? That's three inconsistencies already in two interviews that you did, sir. We got to get to the reality and stop with these lies. Stop with the lies. We're grown adults. You guys are public officials. Stop with the lies.
Obviously, ICE after a while made a determination after somebody came and said that we shouldn't be there and began to, after they told us to leave, we left and they began to try to arrest me. I shouldn't say us. They targeted me and came after me specifically and arrested me.
Well, the reason they came after you, and not specifically you like that, because of course, here we go with the victim mentality again, right? Oh my God, I was arrested because I don't know what happened. Well, first of all, it doesn't matter who invited you there, right? Congress could have been in the wrong. They never asked for permission. They never got permission to show up there. A wrong was committed. You were in the place that the wrong was committed. So of course you're going to be dealt with. Right? Now, Congress may have had permission to be there, because in this second clip that we're going to show, it's another clip going around where he was like, "Oh, nobody told us to leave. I was there over an hour." So again, you said that Congress went in there and that they invited you to come in and you came in an hour after. So how can you been there for over an hour, but then you're there for after an hour? So I'm not understanding this. You were invited by the people that own the property. You were there with the fire investigator. You were there with Congress. You were there over an hour. You were there after an hour. So I'm not understanding, where exactly is this happening? But without any further ado, let's go into this other clip now. This is the one where Baraka is saying that, no one told him to leave. He didn't know he had to leave. And you have MacGyver saying that, oh, this was unprovoked. And Baraka is also saying that, that ICE and basically law enforcement is the one that escalated things. Now, this is a body-worn camera from the scene. You're going to see the individual telling him, now I'm not exactly sure who it is, but he's telling him that, this is your last warning. You need to leave. Only Congress can be here. or you will be arrested, right? Because apparently when Congress went in there, whether they have the legality jurisdiction to be there or not, apparently there were other people there that weren't supposed to be there, right? So the mayor was one of it. They asked him, well, you know, he said that they need to leave. So once he leave, you know, that's when you're going to see the congressman was like, oh, well, wait a minute. They said that he's not supposed to leave because, again, there were more people there and they're saying these people can't be here. But because the mayor had already committed the violation, which is trespassed on the property, you know, he's going to have to be detained or questioned or given a citation.
This is the mayor of the largest city. You are here on private property. On private property.
All right, this is the last. I'm not man. Listen, this is the last warning.
Oh, it's Congresswoman. Let's show some respect. Show some respect.
All per man.
You have no respect.
See how quickly that escalated, and it was escalated by MacGyver.
Congressmen are different. Congresswomen are different. Mr. Mayor, anyone that is not a congresswoman or man needs to step out. It's the last warning. You will be placed under arrest.
They're saying that because he was on this side, that he
Where's my congresswoman? Where's my congresswoman?
So there you see, right there, that's MacGyver pushing on a federal agent. Not only that, but remember, all of this could have been voided, right? You put yourself in that situation to where now it becomes a hostile territory. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. So you have the public officials, which will be the mayor and congressman and woman. Then you have the Congress, right, that is there with a public official. Again, what are we doing? What are we doing? Follow simple rules and policies and procedures. You guys are supposed to be the government figure that's there. Make sure things are going right, to be there for the United States citizen. But look at what we're doing. And this is Congress, right? And this is the government.
Well, I'm going to say as much as I can without violating, what they asked me to do in court. But, I actually didn't come there to protest. I was there that morning with the fire inspector trying to serve them as we've been doing.
So there we go. Going back to the original clip with his interview in CNN. I wasn't there to protest. I was there with the fire squad, fire marshal, to serve them, giving them papers saying that this place needs to be inspected or what have you, or you're not within compliance, whatever the case may be, right? But again, here we go. I was invited by the person who owned the property. I was there with the fire department. Congress had let me in. Now, out of all of this stuff, how and where did all these people come to protest? Without any further ado, thank you guys for enjoying the show today. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like, subscribe, drop a comment, and as usual, stay informed and engage. See you on the next.